WCEG Media Enterprises. We are the worldwide community empowerment group where we speak life into the community. You may log on to WCEG at WCEGTalkRadio.com, or you can watch us on your smart TV, on the Roku cable channel, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and now on Fanbase, Blue Sky, and Twitch. Download our free WCEG mobile apps. Say, Alexa, play WCEG Talk Radio. Listen to WCEG on any of our 11 podcast distribution platforms. The topics and opinions are those of the show hosts and guests, and not WCEG Media Enterprise, Inc. My name is Earnestine D. Pittman, your host for today, and I will be speaking on East Point, a City in Crisis, Part 2. East Point is definitely a city in crisis. There are many, many concerns. Let's begin with the one that I've emailed out to you for the e-blast for today's meeting. If you're unable to listen and view the entire city meeting at one sitting, I'll send you a link so you can go and get it in its entirety. Please listen and enjoy. The first says the $1.60 charge on your utility bill. Many of you have not even noticed that. What is $1.60? Well, it has come to my attention that it is down there for water. Not any information has been forthcoming from the city manager's office to mayor and council, from them to the residents about this new fee. No one can institute a fee in East Point without a vote of council after 2 public hearings for information and input from the residents. I can't tell you much about the $1.60 fee on there, other than it is down there with the water utility. What I can tell you is that the 16,000 residential customers are paying $25,600 a month to the city of East Point for something of which we have no knowledge. I have heard street committee now say that it is for insurance covering water leaks on your property for the amount of water that is lost. Well, to cover that, where is the liability insurance? What company has it? How much is its monthly premium? Where's the contract? No one knows. We are now paying in the city of East Point on your bill $4.60 per month for customer services. That amounts to $883,000 a year. How many customer service employees are we paying for whose salaries and benefits come to $883,200 a year? This is ridiculous. This is highway robbery. We should not be paying that much money and not know why. The city needs to refund every customer that $1.60 that they have been charging without any information forthcoming as to why, as to what insurance company, who did this. Mayor and council certainly don't know about it. They didn't vote on it. It's not in any minutes. We need to be proactive in protecting our resources and how we spend money in the city of East Point. Residents, you could use $883,200, a portion of that each year. What customer services are being paid? I know when I was mayor, it came up for $3. And that was supposed to cover the fee for credit card users. Well, that's been 11 years ago. Things have changed with our technology. So that does not apply. This needs to be rethought. Take that $883,200 and reduce the water bill for that amount that you've been charging for this entire year, fiscal year starting July the 1st, 2025. This is highway robbery. Not only that, you need to come to the next council meeting this coming Monday night. And you need to demand answers to why was a charge put on your bill for something that may or may not happen on your property without your consent, your knowledge. And another thing, why isn't that the choice that you make with the insurance company? Why is East Point acting as a third party intervener? That's not how our government works. We do not act as to intercede on behalf of the residents for any kind of claims of insurance. Because if the insurance company goes belly up and you have a claim in for $2,000, who's going to pay it? If the city pays it, then your city's getting in debt for something that they had no business dealing with. And there's nothing that can make the city pay because you don't have a contract or an agreement attesting that this is what the $1.60 was for. We need to get out of the insurance business, the liability insurance business with private businesses of whom we have absolutely no knowledge and no information. That's the $1.60. That's a crisis because if they can collect $25,200 a month, $600 a month, $25,600 a month for that $1.60. That amounts to $307,200 a year. $307,200 a year will help a lot of residents in this city who are truly having problems paying their utility bills due to layoff, sickness, death, all kinds of reasons. Increased transportation, increased groceries, increased rent, and you get behind. But if you are so much as 8 days past the due date, the city of East Point is talking cutoff. Cutoff. We are paying these fees. These utilities belong to the residents of the city of East Point, not the employees, not the city manager, and not mayor and council. That money belongs to the residents of this city. And our mayor and council are supposed to be the ones who are making sure that that money is being spent wisely and in conjunction with our policies, rules, and regulations as attested to by our charter, the state constitution, and the federal constitution. This is not happening. Representation and spending, that is what brought about the American Revolution. No taxation without representation. So why are we paying $1.60? Why did this not come before the council? Well, I can presume and assume, like in jackass. Well, I can do that. For the next item, at work session last night, the city manager had the nerve to come before mayor and council without a single financial report, not a single required by the charter monthly financial report, and tell them that the city has a $10 million deficit in water and sewer. Absolutely absurd. We have a SPLOS, and we have water and sewer payments for services rendered by the city. How in the Hello Kitty did East Point get to be $10 million in debt to whom and for what when it comes to water and sewer? Oh, he's going to have to do better than that. There has not been a financial report, monthly report given to this council yet, and the previous council. I've been asking for them. They have not been provided. We should stop asking and start demanding. This is our money. We will have to pay for whatever miscalculations, malfeasance, fraud, and out theft by taking of any funds because of poor and lax accountability by our mayor and council, and yes, by the residents of the city of East Point. How can you up and say $10 million deficit in water and sewer, $4 million deficit in stormwater? Well, I have invoices, stormwater utility invoices, where 940 some thousand on one, $943 on another one. The department is water, but the money says stormwater. Why is the stormwater utility paying any kind of water bill? Without proper financial information, we don't know month to month where the money is going. We don't see the allocations, and we don't see the revenues coming in. We don't see the expenditures going out because not any information is given to the quote budget and finance and budget committee. Our council is sitting up there, all up in everybody else's business except the business of the city of East Point. Why, after 2 years, the least, and every other council member except for the last three have been serving on this council. You have had the council members serving 2 years, have had combined, no, individually, $21,000 a year for 2 years. That is $42,000. And you can't get enough education to help you to do what you need to do by going to the courses, online courses, paid for by the city with GMA, where state laws are updated every month. So there's no problem with you're going wrong and making policies and all that's going to conflict with the state law, current state laws. They have the means, the people, and the expertise to go back and research laws made 100 years ago. They're still in effect if they have not been repealed. So you tell me why $42,000 in 2 years is not enough money for any council member sitting there knowing that when you read in the charter that the city manager must provide monthly financial statements, that they don't get it, that they don't understand. It is something wrong here. It is something very wrong here. They need to stop traveling here to yonder, restaurants, giving money in the church on the city credit card, Councilmember Atkins, taking the city manager out to lunch, Councilmember Atkins. Need to start taking care of city business instead of trying to play nicey, footsie with the city manager who signs the checks, circulates the money, and who has the temerity again to send out an email to mayor and council stating he wanted to give a business here in East Point $30,000 that had been inconvenienced by our water and sewer renovating program. Is he nuts? Or are we nuts for even I can't figure out who's nuts. In the first place, that is not his money to be given to anybody. Governments cannot go around giving out money. We are a nonprofit. We ask for money. So why $30,000? Is it because there was a legislative branch held there at this business? What about the other businesses on the street? When this program started, I spoke to a council member and I stated, you all should sit down, bring it before the council as to what kind of and how much utilities reduction that you all would be willing to make in order to help those businesses because of the inconvenience that they're having due to our laying water and sewer lines. No, here he comes up with $30,000. That is not his $30,000. And who authorized him to go and be out there with the business? If the business had concerns and all, they go to economic, come to the city manager and say, well, this is happening here. Why wasn't that turned over to our economic development department? And why did it not come to council in a breakdown matter? These are the numbers of business that are being affected by this. Do we want to give them a reduction in their water and sewer payment or even their utilities? Looking at the books, electric utility should have more than $5 million in reserve collected from ECG and PCA accounts costs that appears on your bill each month. That money is supposed to go into the electricity reserve, which we all know in this city is the go-to enterprise fund account when other accounts in the city get low. We're going to talk about the enterprise fund at another time. But today, $10 million in the red, you said, for water and sewer. I don't know what it is, what it could be, because we have a SPLOS. We're supposed to be getting over $30 million a year for that, and we're still in the 5-year plan for that. So who went and overspent $10 million for what in 1 year? And nobody caught it? Here we are mid-year, and we have not seen, not only have we not seen a monthly financial report, we have not seen a mid-year financial report. And it is time to start the budget process for the next fiscal year. Now, what are you going to put in the budget for the next fiscal year when you don't know where we are midway through the previous fiscal year that we're in now? Any food, and I'm no food, any food would know what and how accurate and how far off were we in procrastinating, prognosticating the 26 fiscal year budget. How off were we with our expenditures and our revenue? Before you can spend anything else, you have to bring in the money for what you've already spent. Oh, did I tell you that the city manager, without anything again in writing to mayor and council, is proposing sanitation changes? The day on which your sanitation would be picked up, the routes, I don't know how they're going to change because the streets don't change and the houses definitely have not moved. So whatever route they take, they're still going to have to cover the same number of houses. So we're going to charge backyard pickup fee. That is what is being proposed. And you know who have backyard pickup containers? Disabled and the elderly. And supposedly, if there's an able-bodied person in the house, they won't have the backyard pickup or the street pickup. Why is any of this in writing? And you would be charged if they go in the backyard. All of this is street committee information that came out on a flyer announcing a community meeting by council members Ziegler and Freely. And they were going to be discussing this. Well, when is the council going to get this information? Two council members not making running this city, controlling the purse strings. I hope not. What about the other council members? It was never discussed in a council meeting. So are we having council meetings outside of the council chambers? Well, I will be posting on my website the letter that I wrote to the Attorney General when I was mayor about just that thing. And he answered. And he stated in there about open meetings and what kind of information must be given. You can't plan for work session. No information was on that website as a Thursday or Friday. Not a single sheet. So when a council member getting information, backups, let alone making it available in the city clerk's office for someone who doesn't have a computer. That's not a requirement here in the city of East Point to live or to get information from the city. State law has not changed about that. But they are not being followed. They haven't been followed. We have the most cowardly bunch of council members that this city has ever had the bad luck to elect. Previously, some remaining now. You need to know why the mayor and council members' budgets keep changing. Well, I can tell you why. Number one, no accountability. Number two, greed. Number three, incompetence. Number four, lack of accountability by you, the residents of the city of East Point. You are responsible. We are responsible for the people who are representing us. I don't want to hear, well, I didn't vote for that person. Too bad. The election is over. We have what we have. And it is our duty and responsibility to support the people on the council who are doing their jobs. Whether we agree with all the decisions that's made, we're not going to do that because we're human. We're greedy too. We want what we want. As long as their vote is cast based on policy, legal policy, derived from the charter, and legal under state laws newly passed and others repealed. Then that's it. That is it. But you need that information. The mayor and council are not your secretaries, are your executive assistants residents. It is not up to them to call you, oh, hello there. We're thinking about this and we're talking about that. That is not how it works. They do have the responsibility of putting information together and getting information out through different venues. Some via media, Facebook, YouTube, however. Others, printed media through the mail or on the mailbox or on a campaign sign, town hall meetings. And they can go to neighborhood associations. There are varied and many means by which information from this council can be gotten out. But when you're lazy and that is too beneath you, you don't even put forth the effort But yet and still, you want money for travel, for training, and education. To do what with? What are you doing with all this education that the city is paying for you to get? All this training that we're paying for you to get. Stay out of grocery stores, stay off of Amazon, get rid of these events, get rid of all these employees that the council never created positions for, nor salaries for. Do your job. You are not doing that. And for that, you can be held accountable and you are failing. Grade F. 3 people on the council, new people. 1 can't vote unless there's a tie. That leaves 6. That means 6 of you are carryovers. What are you doing? You have gotten over $42,000. What do you have to show for it? We don't have challenge classes for elected officials who claim that they want to work for the people. They want to represent the people. Yet you don't answer your phones. You don't do emails. You don't have town hall meetings. What you have is a meeting called. Employees from the city and various departments come in and say what we're doing. That's not a town hall meeting. Town hall meetings mean you are talking policy, proposed or ongoing or current policies, what we can do to make it better, what we're proposing to do. What is your input, residents? That is what constitutes a town hall meeting. And not just on the local level. What is happening on the state and national level that affects the lives of us here in East Point? Did you know now that AI is taking over a large portion of Medicare when it comes to senior care and who gets home care? And if you can be denied based on what AI, artificial intelligence, has to say. And who do you appeal to? How do you appeal to a machine? How do you appeal to something that you ask the question and they have the answer there without any other discussion asking you questions? Giving you information that you did not know. Wake up, America. Wake up, East Point residents. You cannot afford to go to sleep. For fear if you go to sleep in your home, you may wake up out on the street. If your property taxes are increased now, don't go out there and say Pittman said you were increasing property taxes. How else are you going to come up with $10 million deficit for water and sewer, $4 million deficit stormwater? And stormwater money was just collected. It's collected once a year. Oh, let me tell you this little tidbit. If it's not happening to me now, it's not my problem, it's somebody else's problem. Well, East Point residents who lives in any house, in any subdivision that was built between 1950 and 1969, your yards have storm drains in them that were never dedicated to the city. Meaning, when they break and your property starts flooding, according to this current fraudulent stormwater utility ordinance that the city is operating under, the city is authorized to tell you on your property, it's your problem. Not only that, They came up with some kind of formula that said, well, the city would consider paying 2/3 if you pay 1/3, and you have to have this money put into an escrow account, and the attorney has to come in. What? And not only that, this is the kicker. Every parcel of residential property in the city of East Point has to pay the stormwater fee. I worked on that, starting under the late farmer Joe Macon administration. Stormwater utility ordinance that we worked on and talked about is the crown jewel of that administration. It also represented the insurance to residents if you have a home where stormwater problem is causing you to have loss of property, threatens the integrity of your home, that you would not lose your home or your property due to a lack of financial funding on your part, that the city would pay for it because you are paying a stormwater fee every year. It shouldn't be Willie Jackson in his 80s, a whole 11 months before, a whole 13 months before he got his yard finally fixed from one a sinkhole to 3 sinkholes, trying to get the city to do what he was told at town hall meetings where experts were present with the maps showing all the water courses in the city under Mayor Hilliard's administration. This was done. They had a firm to come out and locate and isolate all the creeks, the Little River Springs, anything that water went through. East Point is as porous as a sponge. This was done before the capital improvement projects ever went to work. And when the $52 million for that came into being, $12 million out of the $52 million went for storm water problems. 12 million out of the 52. So we have water problems here in this city. We still have storm water problems here in this city. Every homeowner who lives in Ward C and D in those subdivisions that were built in the 50s or 60s, you are sitting on a tinking bomb. When those problems, those pipes break, depending upon how much damage is caused to your home, there is no way you will be able to pay for it without going out getting an equity loan. If your house is paid for, a first mortgage again, if it's paid for, and at your age, because we are the ones who bought those houses after the first homeowners left the city. It's not going to happen to me. As long as I have breath, I am going to fight for you, with you. I'm not going to fight against you, but I'm not going to lie down and let you trample over my body to get what you want and you do nothing. That has already been done. Those who came before me, they gave their lives. This is Black History Month, remember? Remember all those blacks, some whites, some Jews, laid down their lives, left their homes, run out of their homes, and had to leave the state because they wanted the right to vote and have a voice in their government. And here you are, the recipients of all of their pain, degradation, and should have been shamed but badges of courage. Here you sit, all prime and proper, looking like pumped up fools knowing nothing. If $42,000 can't get you educated enough to know that no fee on a bill can be a legal fee until you, mayor and council, vote on it at 2 hearings. If you can't understand that one sentence that's written in the charter, then you need to resign. You need to resign. Part time does not mean no time. I'm on my part of the time. I get to the city part of the time later, but the city's part of the time later is now. Start taking care of our money. That's your biggest job, our money. You need to know where it is going and that it is going in a proper place for the right thing. I don't pay property taxes, not by choice, but that's our law. Because I realize we have to have policemen and firemen. We have to have public safety in order to keep our charter. We have to have utilities in order to keep our charter. We have to show health facilities in order to keep our charter. But that's Fulton County. You ask any council member up there, what are the three basic things you have to have in order to keep your charter and keeping the states from sending in an administrator and taking over? They don't know. You're so busy voting for the wrong reasons for the wrong things. Well, it's too late now. So let's work with the people whom we put up there to make them look good, makes us look good. When they do good, we do good. When they do bad, we do bad. And only a fool would want that to happen. But it's not going to happen with the way council members keep wanting more money to spend that's not allowable by the state. It is state law that sets municipal elected officials' salaries, benefits, and any other monies needed to be needed to help them to do their jobs. Only their jobs. We don't pay for vacations. We don't pay for that bar you go into and start drinking. We don't pay for you to go get gas in your tank. We don't pay for you to go to restaurants. We don't pay for you to have 400 over $400 on Amazon. And I'm not talking about the former council member Sharsha. I'm talking about council member Atkins at this point. I just got stuck on him because I just got these new credit reports out of the clouds. I'm coming and let you know about the others too. I'm an equal opportunity responder when it comes to not doing your job. And I'm an equal opportunity praiser when you do your job. And you're not doing it up there. Now, residents, you're not doing yours either. You will come up and raise holy hell when you're told you have to have an increase in property taxes. And who's going to have this increase? The laid off worker that's already working two jobs, household income is less than $70,000 a year. Let's be honest, $30,000 to $40,000. And look what the hit that has been taken on the national level of those social benefits and parachutes that would help soften the ground before you got to it. What are you doing here in East Point for our residents there? No. You don't care that you sit up there and spend thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on council members a good time. But you want to jump all over a person who comes up there, residents, and says, I need help. I could not afford to remain in my home when I lost my job. I could not keep up the utilities and all. So I went and stayed with another relative. Because my house was closed up, I now have what you call that, mold. I now have mold in my basement. I need help. I have a job, but I can't stay in my house with this mold. That is a resident. That is a resident there that needs help in our community. Because if that house goes down, the other houses around it are going to suffer. And that is a need that the city can use. Stormwater utility money to help. Because if the moisture builds up in the house from humidity or whatever else, wherever that humidity moisture coming from, one of these little tributaries, creeks, or whatever, or rain. Now let's get back to these budgets. If you want to go and look at the budget, council members' budgets that were posted in the June vote to adopt the budget. Now you go back on that website and look at the same area where that information is to be found. It's different. They was in such a hurry to change it, they left out the $2,500 by ordinance that says each council member should have $2,500 for communicating with the residents. Now, what happened to that? The city manager, Mr. City Manager, what happened to that? And since when professional fees come to 11,000 or something for any council members, how is that derived from anywhere in the budget? I mean, anywhere in the charter. I explained that last week. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. I have better things to do with my time. You need to spend some of your time reading and listening and getting information on your own. You don't have to take my word for it. I'm not God. He did not leave me in charge. But he did give me a mind and a heart. I care about the people in East Point. I care about the people in Georgia. I care about all the people in the United States of America. Why? Because I am one of them. If you are mistreated today, I can look forward to being mistreated tomorrow. Why you? Well, why not you? Why me? Why not me? We have to do better. The city manager has a lot to do with explaining. We do not spend money out of the budget just because there's an allocation in the budget for it. The charter is clear on that. It is clear and very clear. But since that was not done over the past 10 years, it needs to stop now. It does not need to go any further. And if you think I'm going to keep taking my money and my time, going to court, getting things and information all out to you while you sit back and read it like you own the darn paper that it was written on and it was your due, you're in for a foolhardy. I don't know what it is you're in for. I will walk with you. I will protest with you. You know, I love to protest. I'm the first one who brought protesters to East Point, city government, but I didn't protest by myself. There were people out there of all persuasion, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, religious orientation. We are all Americans. When we fight together, we are Americans. When you sit back and let others fight for you, I don't know who you are. We protested. Then we went inside the council meeting and we sat there and waited for public comment and we had our say. things got done and changed. We didn't always get what we wanted, but we made it impact so that it did not impact us negatively as much had we not gone out there and protested. Why do you think the people in Minnesota are up there doing what they are doing? Why do you think right now on Capitol Hills they are having ICE hearings? It's not because you read about it and became very indignant on Facebook or wherever you get your media information. And you had this intellectual discussion about, oh, how terrible this is. That didn't do it. It took people standing in sleet, rain, and snow day in, day out. And what are you doing? Like I said, them today, you tomorrow. We need to make sure that the money that we have coming in now, because there's no guarantees with convicted President Trump in office and his fools for in the House and in the Senate who are holding on to his coattails for whatever reasons will not vote to make further cuts in Medicaid and all the other programs, the social and parachute programs that existed. Those cuts are not in effect 2026. They wait until after the election. Education, those cuts exist. Food stamps, those cuts exist. Food programs at schools, those programs exist. For cuts, another round. And what are you doing about that? Well, I don't have any children in school. I don't have any children, period. But who the hell you think gonna help take care of your old end one day? He who had no children and proud of it and no money in your pocket to pay for home care. Oh, and by the way, if you do have money to pay for home care, who you think gonna come in there and care for you? Trump has gone back to the 1975 code where you're not even paid minimum wage, federal minimum wage. You better wake up around here and start reading and stop looking in that mirror thinking you all of that on a slice of bread too. A budget is just that, a budget. If the money comes in, then it can be spent. How it is going out, that's mayor and council's business. That's the residents of East Point business. And that is a process that has to be followed, that is not being followed. How many of you knew about all those events totaling $943,000 in 1 year, but you got a $4 million deficit in stormwater? Didn't want to pay $9,000 to fix a sinkhole in an elderly man's yard who's been paying a stormwater fee for 11 years. It is ridiculous. Oh, let's get back to the stormwater fee before I move on to my other item here. My time is about to run out here. That stormwater utility says this. Make sure you listen well, because I'm getting together a group to get to have this stormwater utility amended. It's fraudulent. I have the documents and all. Yeah, they put my name by it, but that's not the first time they put my name on something. It won't be the last. They think my name would scare all folks because the Pittman name on it. She read it. It's got to. It's gonna pass. Nobody's gonna think a second about it except Pittman. Now let's get back to this stormwater utility ordinance that says if you do not pay the stormwater fee that comes out on a property tax bill, the city can turn off all your other utilities. Now, you know good and well only a fool would allow a council to sit up and sign off on anything with a clause like that in it. And it is in it. It says that if the stormwater fee is not paid, the city can turn off all your other utilities. What does your light bill have to do with stormwater that you have paid, your water and sanitation and sewer bill? In their thirst, in their need for greed and money, ordinances have been changed. That ordinance has been changed to include that. It should not be there. There's no basis for it. I have the documents to prove it. But let me tell you, those people in your neighborhood, in your community, that tell you, don't talk to so and so, especially Pittman. Leave Pittman alone, don't talk to her. Then you better find somebody who's out there working there behind how far you like Pittman is and putting the information out there that you can read and determine for yourself whether or not it's true or not. Now, why would you allow an ordinance to pass that says you have access to stormwater uh, system in East Point? Yours were dedicated. So if something happens to yours, stormwater drain line, they didn't say anything about all this other property. They'll come on there and fix the drain line. But what about your property? Others, the majority of homes in Ward C and D, you don't have that luxury. Your storm, if your yards become full of sinkholes, any part of your property, and you need to see Dr. Sonia Roberts' property. Her entire backyard has a sinkhole that has made a line straight across it. And the city thinks she is supposed to go out there and fix that. No, she's not. Because we, the people, of which I was a voice under the late former Mayor Joe Maker, sold the residents insurance by promising them in the ordinance, in statements, at work sessions, at town hall meetings, that if you fund this stormwater utility, this will ensure that you will not have to leave your home, lose your property, go in debt to keep what you have. It didn't say anything about if you don't pay it, we're going to disconnect all your other utilities. I don't know where that junk came from. That is not the promise. I back what I say. I own my mess. You start owning yours. I stated in 2019, when I first this version of the ordinance came up, I immediately went to the council trying to tell them this is not what we passed. I did a protest, got a citation. 2 weeks later, did another protest, got another citation. Only one person came, one council member, that was Council Member Saucier, Nanette Saucier, came out to meet with the people and to talk to them about that. The others were no shows. That was 2019. I have been talking on and off. Oh, there she go, ranting and raving. Well, then the joke's on you, because the first time you don't pay this fee, all your utilities are subject to be turned off, which they cannot legally do. But you know what cannot be legally done? What it takes to go to court to get it legally done right? Injunctions. How many of you have money for a lawyer? Why should it even come to that? Common sense would tell you, what does my electric, water, and sewer bill and sanitation have to do with stormwater bill fee, a stormwater fee? Absolutely nothing. But yet and still, it's on there. Now, I run out of time. But I still want you to think about this employee who is working for the city from home that has been banned from the city by a superior judge. Why is the city manager talking about that? Visit my website. Make sure you visit WCEG on the fourth Tuesday of this month because the mayor will be appearing with me. I will be sending out the link to today's broadcast, e-blasting it out. Please share it. And one more thing before I go, I'm running over time. I have bought on Amazon Black Radio, people in Black Radio. You have to get it. Black history, can't imagine it. And our own enterprising host, owner, Penny Rogers is in it. You need to get it. Thank you so much. Didn't mean to go off track, but you know how I am. Until next time, good luck and good.